Have you ever found yourself in a situation where someone said something offensive or life threw you a curveball and all you wanted to do was lash out or react? It's a natural impulse, right? To fight back, to prove yourself, to defend your ego. But here's the catch. What if I told you that your greatest power is not in reacting, but in doing absolutely nothing? That's right. The ability to stay calm, to not let the world push your buttons, could be the secret to true strength. You're not alone in feeling the pressure to react. In a world that rewards quick responses, emotional outbursts, and savage comebacks, it's hard to imagine that silence could actually be the most powerful move you can make. But that's exactly what the Stoics teach us. Our reactions are within our control, and in mastering them, we gain freedom from external chaos. By the end of this video, you'll understand why not reacting is not a sign of weakness, but the ultimate display of inner power. Let's dive into how Stoic philosophy can help you reclaim control over your emotions and reactions, empowering you to respond to life's challenges with calm confidence. Ready to unlock this secret? Let's go. Chapter 1. The Illusion of Reaction. It's easy to think that reacting is just part of being human, right? Someone cuts you off in traffic, and your immediate reflex is to honk your horn. Or someone throws shade your way, and you're ready to throw it right back. But here's the kicker. This reaction is often an illusion. We believe we have to react, but in reality, these quick responses are driven by automatic processes, not the true essence of the situation. Take John, for example. He works in a high-stress office environment. His boss, Dave, regularly criticizes him in front of the team. At first, John would snap back, feeling humiliated, and argue his case. But over time, John realized that his reaction wasn't a necessary defense. It was an automatic response triggered by his pride. This realization helped him break the cycle of reacting to every comment. Understanding that not every attack needed to be countered, we convince ourselves that we must defend, argue, or respond to everything that comes our way. But the truth is, we don't have to. That knee-jerk reaction isn't as instinctive as it feels. It's learned. By believing we always need to react, we end up losing our power. Recognizing the illusion of reaction means we can choose to step back and see things for what they really are, just another person's opinion, another fleeting moment. Chapter 2. Why we react. Ever wonder why we can't just let things slide? It's because our brains are wired for survival. Back in the day, reacting quickly to a threat, whether it was a dangerous animal or an enemy tribe, was crucial. The fight or flight response kept us alive. Fast forward to today, and the same brain wiring kicks in when we feel slighted or wronged. Your body's preparing for a fight, even if you're just getting into a petty argument at work. Take Sophia's experience at her new job. On her first day, her colleague, Lisa, made a snide remark about her presentation. In the moment, Sophia's body reacted instantly. Her heart raced, her palms got sweaty, and her first impulse was to defend herself. But Sophia, being aware of her body's automatic response, paused before reacting. She realized that this wasn't about a life or death situation. It was simply an uncomfortable moment. Understanding the why behind her reaction helped Sophia separate her primal fight-or-flight response from a calm, thoughtful choice. The catch is, this mechanism is outdated. We don't need to react to every little thing, but understanding why we react helps us gain control over those reactions. The first step in breaking the cycle is realizing that reacting isn't always about survival. It's often about ego. Chapter 3. The cost of reacting. The immediate satisfaction of firing back at someone feels good, right? But there's a hidden cost to that reaction. First, there's the mental drain. Reacting to everything, big or small, takes energy. Over time, it leaves you exhausted, stressed, and on edge. Then, there's the emotional cost. Regret. How many times have you snapped at someone only to wish you hadn't afterward? Let's think about John again. After years of reacting impulsively, John noticed he was constantly drained, emotionally, mentally, and even physically. His relationships with friends and family were frayed, and he was frequently upset. One day, after another heated argument with a close friend, he realized he'd been sacrificing his inner peace for small, inconsequential conflicts. The cost of those reactions wasn't worth it anymore. The social costs are just as high. Reacting impulsively can burn bridges, destroy relationships, and make you come across as unstable or petty. In the long run, those quick reactions build a reputation you don't want. And at what expense? That brief moment of winning in an argument. Totally not worth it. Chapter 4. The Power of the Pause. Here's where it gets interesting. The pause. When something triggers us, the impulse is to react. But what if we just paused for a second? That tiny space between the trigger and the response. In that moment, we have the power to choose. Instead of letting that moment control you, take a breath, step back, and give yourself time to decide. I remember a moment when I was out with a friend, and they made a sarcastic comment about something I was working on. The old me would have jumped in with a quick retort, eager to defend myself. But instead, I paused. I didn't say anything for a few seconds, and in that brief silence, I realized my friend didn't mean to hurt me. It was a passing comment, not a direct attack. That pause gave me the space to respond calmly and avoid a conflict. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, taught that we should never react immediately. Instead, he recommended pausing, reflecting, and then choosing our action. That pause might seem small, but it's a game changer. The power of the pause is the power of control. It's like pressing the reset button on your emotions, allowing you to respond from a place of wisdom rather than impulse. Chapter 5. Stoic Tools for Non-Reaction. Stoic philosophy has a ton of practical tools for cultivating non-reaction. One of the key ideas is dichotomy of control. Stoics like Epictetus believed that we can control our responses, but we can't control other people or external events. By focusing only on what's within our control, we stop reacting to things outside of our influence. Sophia applied this tool during a stressful meeting. Her manager, Mike, was continuously interrupting her and dismissing her ideas. Instead of reacting in frustration, Sophia remembered that she couldn't control Mike's behavior. What she could control was how she responded. She stayed calm, composed, and carried on with her points, unshaken by his interruptions. Another Stoic tool is negative visualization. Instead of reacting to events in real time, try imagining how things could go wrong in a given situation. That mental exercise helps you detach from the emotional charge of a potential conflict. Finally, practicing mindfulness, or simply being aware of your thoughts and reactions, helps you notice when a reaction is about to take place, giving you the opportunity to choose a more deliberate response. Chapter 6. Turning triggers into growth. What if your triggers, those things that make your blood boil, weren't just annoyances, but opportunities for growth? Instead of seeing triggers as signs to react, view them as a chance to level up emotionally and mentally. Triggers reveal parts of ourselves that need healing, patience, or understanding. Sophia's manager, Mike, continued to challenge her in ways that triggered her insecurity. But instead of reacting, Sophia started to reflect. She realized that every time Mike interrupted her, it made her feel small and undervalued. Rather than getting upset, she saw this as an opportunity to confront her own feelings of inadequacy. By working on building her self-confidence, she was able to turn a trigger into personal growth. Next time you get triggered, ask yourself, what's this really about? Is it fear, pride, insecurity? By turning your triggers into growth moments, you'll become more self-aware and, ultimately, more resilient. It's not easy, but over time, you'll start seeing triggers as a tool for personal development rather than an emotional burden. Chapter 7. Reaction versus reflection. Reacting is about reflex. Reflecting is about reason. When we react, we're driven by the heat of the moment, often making decisions that we regret. But when we reflect, we take the time to process the situation, understand our emotions, and choose a thoughtful response. I've had my own struggles with this. There was a time when a friend of mine made an offhand comment about my appearance that hit a nerve. My initial instinct was to snap back. But then I remembered my Stoic training, and instead of reacting, I took a step back. I realized the comment wasn't meant to hurt me. It was my own insecurities fueling my reaction. The difference between reacting and reflecting was like night and day. Reflection gave me clarity, and ultimately, I was able to move past it without a confrontation. In this chapter, let's look at how to shift from reaction to reflection. It's all about slowing down. When you feel that urge to lash out, give yourself permission to take a moment to reflect. Ask yourself, what's really at stake here? What's the best response, not the quickest one? It's like playing chess instead of checkers, thinking 2 steps ahead rather than just following your impulses. Chapter 8. The freedom of non-reaction. When you stop reacting, you step into a space of freedom. It might seem like you're giving up control, but in reality, you're gaining it. By not reacting to the chaos around you, you free yourself from the emotional roller coaster that comes with every little provocation. Take John's journey. He used to get emotionally entangled in every argument, whether it was with his partner, his friends, or even strangers on the internet. Over time, he realized that non-reaction was the ultimate freedom. He could walk away from an argument and still feel whole. He no longer let other people's words or actions dictate his mood. You don't have to engage with every conflict, comment, or crisis. Non-reaction gives you the power to move through life with greater peace and steadiness. Imagine the freedom of not being controlled by every little thing that happens to you. You become unshakable, like a rock in the ocean. Waves come and go, but you stay grounded. Chapter 9. Stoic Masters in Action. Let's look at how the Stoics put non-reaction into practice. Marcus Aurelius, for example, dealt with constant war, political strife, and personal loss. Yet, he remained calm, always taking a moment to reflect before making decisions. Seneca, too, faced countless setbacks, from political exile to financial ruin, but he maintained his composure, teaching us that our true strength lies in our ability to control our responses. I think of how Seneca would react to a modern-day situation, say, an unjust criticism at work. Instead of firing back, he would pause, reflect, and assess whether responding would add value or simply fuel the fire. His wisdom teaches us that non-reaction isn't passive. It's a disciplined choice that reflects inner strength. Their actions show that non-reaction isn't a passive state. It's an active practice. It's about showing up to life with clarity, wisdom, and the power to choose how we respond to even the most difficult situations. Chapter 10: The Power Within. The power of not reacting isn't just about external situations. It's about internal mastery. When you stop reacting to every external trigger, you start reclaiming the power that's always been inside of you. The more you practice this, the more you become a force of calm, control, and wisdom. Seneca once said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." By controlling your reactions, you free yourself from unnecessary suffering. You begin to live life on your own terms, no longer at the mercy of every little storm. The power is within you. It always has been. You just need to learn to access it. Conclusion: you've learned that the power to choose how you respond is where the real freedom lies. When you stop reacting automatically, you open up a world of control, clarity, and growth. The pause, simple yet powerful, turns triggers into opportunities, transforming how you handle life's ups and downs. And the best part? It's something you can practice and get better at every day. It's not just about staying calm in the storm. It's about standing firm while the world swirls around you, and using those moments to build your inner strength. Stoic wisdom isn't just old philosophy. It's a toolkit for thriving in the chaos of modern life. I'm so glad you joined me for this deep dive. If this video helped you see the power of non-reaction in a new light, hit that like button, and don't forget to share your thoughts or experiences in the comments. I'd love to hear how you're using these tools in your life. And if you're ready for more, check out our next video to dive even deeper into mastering your mindset and creating lasting change. You're on the path to real transformation, and I'm excited to continue this journey with you. It's not the events that shape us, but how we respond to them.